Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Tuesday, March 25th. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I thought one of the things that we should, because it kind of becomes a dilemma for us every year. So, I'm assuming that we're not unique in that. Does it really pay to do a pick up and drop off service during your busy time? It's a good question. So, stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back. My name is Eric. If you didn't already know it, and yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Tuesday, the 25th of March, 2025. So, what exactly are we talking about today? I'm talking about where you're trying to do a balancing act, right? And for many of you, you're a one man band, right? Even a couple guys at the shop still makes it difficult, especially depending on how old you are. The older you get, the worse it gets. So, what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking, is it feasible to do pickup and drop offs? And the answer is yes and no. You know, if you have a yard full of stuff and you can't keep up with people dropping stuff off, stop picking stuff up. Pure and simple. And you're going to say, well, you always say never turn away work. I never said that. I've never said that. You know, and if you get so backed up that customers are waiting weeks, you got a problem. I would rather say no to customers that we don't have time than to tell them something and then fall short of it. You know, I've always been the type of person that says honesty is the best policy. And if I'm sitting there looking at cloud in the shop and it's slammed, and I'm looking out in the driveway and that's slammed, when I have a customer call and ask, do we still work on stuff? I say yes. And they're like, when's a good time to drop it off? I said, well, it depends on when's a good time for you to get it back. Because right now we are slammed. And this is where I started years ago training customers, I call it, of bringing it in the fall or getting it in early in the spring. Both of those times are kind of dead, right? The fall, you have a few services of snow blowers, but not a lot. So I started training my better customers and saying, look, I'll even give you a little bit of a discount if you bring it to me in the fall. I'll do a service on it. You take it home, turn the fuel off, and just let it run out of fuel while it's still running, and that way there's nothing left in the carburetor. What have I accomplished by doing that? I've now taken half of my workload that I see in the spring and I pushed it to the fall. So now that gives me more customers, more time to work on stuff when generally it's crickets, right? And you're saying, well, why are you giving people discounts to do the fall service? It's because I want to encourage them that do it then. That way I can say yes to more people in the spring. If that makes any sense. Because like I say, if I see where we're slammed and we're not going to get a customer's machine in and out within a couple weeks, a lot of times I will tell them we just don't have time right now. But if I transition a lot of those regular customers that I'm seeing every year to do it in the fall, I'm picking up extra money there, and you're saying, well, but you're losing money because you could have got full value in the spring versus a discount in the fall. No, I got more work in the spring I can take on. So that Because you can't go by how much you make in a week or a month. You're playing the long game. It's how much you make over that year cycle. Did I lose you? It doesn't matter what you make in a week in the spring rush. And hopefully you're not the type of person that says, look at all the money we're making, let's go out and get a bunch of debt. Because I can tell you, after you get that spring rush, it's going to be crickets. Are there going to be an occasional machine here and there that break down? Yes. Warranty work. Yes, you're going to have warranty work, but if you watch very many of my videos, you're going to find that 90 to 95% of what customers think is warranty is not warranty. So then you got to chase the customer down and get them to pay you. And they think you're screwing them because it should have been warranty, because that's what, the people at Tractor Supply told them, or at Lowe's told them, or at Walmart told them. And you have to tell them you're wrong. They're wrong. I have had over the years different manufacturers just say, go ahead, Eric, just run it through warranty and we'll pay for it. But here's where I am when it comes to honesty. I'm not going to lie for the customer to the warranty shop, and I'm not going to lie to the customer and tell them something that's not true. I know a lot of shops that do a lot of warranty work, slide everything through, and they have certain codes. And a lot of your bigger manufacturers will allow that on ones that are floor planning and selling a lot of product for them. They figure it in as the cost of doing business. But if you're not floor planning and you try to slide one of those through as warranty, good chances are you're going to get rejected. And you should. I don't even think the bigger ones should be able to have it. Not and have it be dictated as warranty. Why should I even take on and become a warranty shop if you're letting the big ones get away with it but the small ones not? Heck, I'll just start shipping them all to the big ones, right? But my business is all on honesty. Being honest with the customer, being honest with the manufacturers when it comes to warranty work. But the thing is if you're a one-man band and you don't have any work, then you need to find work. So that means if customers need stuff picked up, then you need to figure in getting that to your shop. And the younger you are, the easier it is. I mean, we've now incorporated on all of our trailers, we have winches. We can't lug and push machines up the ramps anymore. We're getting too old. So we just hook a winch to them and winch them up on, whether it be a farm tractor or a riding lawnmower. Push mowers, yeah, we can still handle those. Snow blowers, pretty much with two of us. But the lawnmowers are a little bit heavier. And there's hardly ever anybody around, even if they drive by, that are willing to stop and give you a hand. Now, when we were younger and throwing them around like square bales, that's one thing, but we can't anymore. And that's another thing, some people will say, well, why don't you hire somebody, just a retired guy, to just go pick up lawnmowers and drop them off. Dropping them off wouldn't be bad because they are running, right? But picking them up is another box of chocolates. Unless it's not an issue with running and transmission, it's an issue with a deck or something like that. But most of the ones that we pick up had dead batteries, so you got to jump start them. You got to use carb cleaner on them to get the fuel coming. Drive them up onto the trailer, or winch them if you can't get them to fire up. Take it back to the shop. Claude and I will do that. when we're not busy. But once we hit the busy time, trailers get parked. I just don't have time to, chase people down. And this day and age, you can rent a trailer from Tractor Supply for like 30 or 40 bucks for the day. Back in, hook onto it, take your lawnmower, drop it off with me, and then when it's done, go back to Tractor Supply, rent it for another day, come get it, take it home, run the trailer back on their day off. And it's going to cost them 80 bucks for pickup and drop off. We normally charge 40 to 50 bucks to go pick it up, bring it back to the shop, work on it, and then take it back. That's our pickup and drop off fee. It's usually right around 50 bucks. But you have to decide on your own when it's feasible and when it's not. But I've got a friend that started out with eBay selling used boat parts online. And when he first started up in this area, he had more time than customers. And it was him and his brother and his dad. Well, his brother, he hired on to take care of the eBay stuff. When something sells, package and ship. And then also to inventory the parts. And they had a couple Amish that they hired to tear different engines down. And the one would label each part on the engine that was taken off and put it into certain buildings that were listed on the sheet. But he started doing service calls because where are most boats in the summertime? They're in the water. And once he gained a big enough following of people knowing about him, he no longer would do a service call unless it was one of his best customers. And they paid well. Because what he told me, he said, Eric, if you're out doing service calls, who's working on the stuff at the shop? And he said, if you're not at the shop when somebody stops in to talk to you about their boat, good chances are they won't come back. And if they call and they get an answer machine, they won't leave a message. Those are all missed opportunities. He said, but what I found was if I'm here working on something and I answer the phone or stop doing what I'm doing when a potential customer shows up, I can get that work. And most times it's more work than spending half a day out working on a boat and getting squat. And it made sense. It did. And that's the way we look at things, is if we need work, we'll go get it. If we're starting to get slammed, I won't. I'll just tell the customer, not at this time. And you may want to check with the other shops to see if there's any openings. See, that's the other thing that we do too, amongst each of us that have shops, is what we call the overflow. If we know it's going to be put out sometime, then we suggest the other shops. We're not in competition with each other. We each have our own unique customers, right? And going back to what I said, that you're playing the long game. I don't care if you made $30,000 in the month of March or April or May. What did you make for the year? Because you have to survive for the year. And you may get slammed hard in the springtime and make good money. But if you're not banking that money to live off from for the rest of the months, you're screwing yourself. And I've seen numerous shops come and go that they were a spendthrift during those months. And then when it was crickets, they had to close the doors because they had no money and no customers. So, this business we're in is kind of feast or famine. But if you can take when you feast and put it away so that when you hit the famine months, you still have enough revenue generated for the year that you can continue with the shop. You're being smart with your money. If you go out and you take on a bunch new debt, or you go out and you start buying, lavish toys and stuff like that because you got so much extra money, you're going to run out. You're going to run short. I've seen this happen to people that were forward planning and stuff like that too. They have a couple good months and they think that, well, they can take that extra money and do stuff with it. No, you can't. You got to bank that, because there's going to be months that you need to draw from somewhere, right? But I want to hear your take. What do you think about doing pickup and drop off? Because you got wear and tear on the vehicle, you got fuel, you got wear and tear on the trailers. Claude's still getting paid when he goes with me to pick up stuff and drop off stuff. It all adds up, right? So on that note, you guys have a great Tuesday, and we're back here bright and early Wednesday morning. Today I have cardiac rehab. I think this is my last day for that, and then I'll just keep walking at home on the road. You guys have a great day.